We are here with Mrs. June Frederick, and we are going to have a conversation about youth in the arts and all that comes with it. Mrs. Frederick, welcome to Island Ripple.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. So let us start talking about youth involvement in the cultural aspect of St. Lucia, specifically the masquerade part of it. I remember growing up seeing masquerade for the first time, and we were excited, seeing people walking on stilts, and we did not really and we still did not understand back then exactly what it was, but it's only when, we sat down in class and we got the whole historical aspect of it. So let's first talk about, what it is like to have the youth involved in the masquerade.
Okay. Well, you're one of the very few who actually got to find out about the masquerade from
Yes.
early.
Yeah.
But I have a theater company which is Youth and Arts Theater, and one of the things that we do is the masquerade. Now, my romance with the masquerade is long,
Okay.
right? Because when I grew up as a child,
Yeah.
masquerade was an integral part of Christmas. If there was no masquerade, it was like not having cake and ham and stuff.
Wow.
We
Okay,
had to
okay.
have masquerade for Christmas. I went away for about 12 years, and when I came back, I couldn't find it. So I decided I needed to put it back.
Right.
By then, I was working with the National Trust,
Yeah.
and we started doing something called Christmas Folk Fiesta at Pigeon Island. And
I remember that.
started looking for people
Yeah.
to do the masquerade. And bless his heart, one of my main supporters with that was Cocky,
Ah.
who has now passed, God
Yes,
rest his
yes,
soul. He
yes.
was our first Papa Jab when we revived.
Okay.
And we had the then fantastic Athanasius Laborde,
Yes.
who also came into being, and so on. And then when I joined Folk Research Center, I decided I need to do a proper revival of what was lost, especially in castries. At the time, I did not know that there was a tradition called Jab Dewo in Soufre.
Oh, okay.
That has
okay.
never died, thanks to
Okay.
Soufre Action Theatre.
Yeah.
I got to find that out very late, long after the project was done.
Yes.
But I decided to focus on the castries tradition, because it was definitely dying. It was not there. And so I did. I did a UNESCO project with two other islands for the revival of the masquerade. And one of the things that was missing, has always been missing, a lot of our cultural traditions are not documented.
That is true.
But thanks to Folk Research Center, well, now they have to start again from scratch. But
Yeah.
they started the documentation, but the traditional masquerade had never been documented.
I see.
And so we did a whole project to try and get it documented and get everything done, out of which came a children's book that I wrote on the masquerade. But my kids who were in kiddiecrew.com, the television show
Yeah.
for children by children, were the first to actually be part of the revival of masquerade. I actually had on the street that first year some of the elderly masquerade performers from Oleon. And some musicians as well from Olio, together with Athanasius Laborde and the Silver Shadows, and it was absolutely amazing.
I can imagine.
And that is when I knew that I wanted to do it every year. So, and I realized, like, I also wanted to teach it, because so few people knew about it, because every time I spoke about it, it was that, but there's nothing written, there's so little, we don't know. And so that has been my life passion.
Okay.
Yes, I decided for the rest of my life, I was going to ensure that as many people as possible knew about, as many young people as possible participated in the traditional masquerade of St. Lucia. So
that is great. Now, I just want to be sure. So masquerade traditionally only happens at Christmas time?
yes.
Okay.
Traditionally, and I think that therein lies the problem.
Ah.
If when we did it with, when we did the project with the other two islands, Dominica and St. Kitts Nevis, we realized that the reason why their masquerade had never died, it was not documented, but it never died, was because it is an integral part of their carnival celebrations.
Oh,
St. Lucia is the
understood.
only island in the Windward Islands whose masquerade is at Christmas.
Okay.
And I believe somehow it got bunched together with another part of the tradition. So a lot of people don't know, there are two groups in traditional masquerade, right?
Oh, okay.
There's a group
We're
that
learning today.
there's a group that dances to the music of the masquerade,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a group that doesn't dance.
Oh, okay.
There is a group that performs street theater and death and resurrection rituals and so on. That is Papa Jab and his entourage.
Yeah,
They never dance,
Oh, okay.
right? This group only comes out at Christmas time, because if you even look at the Papa Jab costume and everything else, it's almost like it's one of our rebellious traditions that came out of slavery.
Okay.
So, and I believe that somehow our traditional masquerade, the other group in the traditional masquerade, the dancers, the paibanans, the
Yes.
chevalbois, the stilt walkers, which Uncle Sam and Serafina, I think somehow they got lumped together at Christmas time.
Okay. With the other
Right?
group.
And I'm trying to see how we can actually integrate them into things like carnival and stuff like that, so that they live.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm very, how should I say, it is sacrilegious for me
Yeah.
to put Papa Jab and his entourage any other time of year but Christmas. And somebody was really upset with me once and couldn't figure out, and I said, okay, the next time you ask me for Papa Jab during April, I will give you Santa Claus and his elves. Because have you ever seen Santa Claus and his elves any other time of Christmas?
This is very true.
So we
You have not.
respect the European tradition, but we do not respect our tradition. But I am very, very, very serious about that part of it.
Do not touch Auntie June's Papa Jab, people.
Because,
I
and my youngsters now who do it, especially those who have been with me for 6+ years
Yeah.
with Youth and Arts Theatre Company, one day I said to them, okay, we've been invited to and so a place and they want us to do Papa Jab, and they say no. We'll do everything else. We're not doing Papa Jab. Because Papa Jab is at Christmas.
It's Christmas. Yeah. As it should be.
Yeah. So
That
I
is
mean, so that's what I'm doing.
That's
That's why I'm
amazing.
doing it.
That is amazing. I am excited. And this is a learning experience for me, because again, we would see the masquerade certain times. We would see it in the Queen Show talent segment. You see that a lot. And you know, I remember, because I attended St. Joseph's Convent, and I remember there were times like, you know, they would have the pie banana and stuff at certain times. So then again, I was still kind of, you know, confused about it.
Yeah.
But now I am educated. So now I know more
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
tell us about Youth and Arts Theatre, what you guys are doing now. Let us know, let us in, let Island Ripple in.
That's a company that gives me the greatest joy.
That's amazing.
We've been going Youth and Arts, as the name Youth and Arts Theatre Company. We actually evolved out of Kiddie Crew Theatre Company, which itself evolved out of kiddiecrew.com, the
Wow.
television series. It's just that when the Kiddie Crew Theatre Company kids, when the youngsters got older, they say, Auntie June, could you change the name?
We're
We're
not kids anymore. Yeah.
So I changed the name.
Yeah.
And we've been, the main reason actually for forming the theatre company is that there are a lot of St. Lucian writers, St. Lucian playwrights, whose work a lot of youngsters don't know. And I decided the first playwright that I wanted to focus on was Roderick Walcott, twin brother of Derek Walcott,
Yep.
who himself is a playwright. His work captures the cultural landscape of St. Lucia so beautifully. So I decided I want to pay tribute to him and to others like him. So the first, we did, I think, 3 of his plays. The first one we did was The Legend of Tom Fool, and that was an amazing play. Amazing. It was a musical. The youngsters just ran with it.
Yeah.
And then we had Papa Jab, The Devil at Christmas. And the final one that we had was Shrove Tuesday March.
Okay.
Which is a short play based in a panyard.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so because Roderick Walcott was also a pan man. He headed the Turk Steel Band.
I didn't know that.
Yes, a little before my time, but you know. But you see, so that is one of the reasons, so that they could create an appreciation of what is ours. Because normally when people do theater and stuff, they tend to want to do stuff that has already been done.
Yes.
But not from
over and
St.
over.
Lucia.
Yeah.
So it really gave me great pleasure to do, and I've had the support of people like Kendall Hippolyte and McDonald Dixon. I really had their support, and I mean they're still by people for running things, you know, with and making sure I'm on the right track. So that's my reason for doing it. I used to do kids between the ages of 7 and 12. And I did a whole little series on their Nancy stories.
Right.
But sadly, I had to stop because I found parents were just too busy. And they hadn't taught their kids, a lot of them hadn't taught their kids about, I know my parents, I don't know about yours, but my parents, when I was in school, if I wanted to do something, you had to do it until you finish it.
Oh, absolutely. That
Right,
was my parents.
but not the parents now.
Yeah,
The parents now, the children will get anxious and they want to start something, they get excited, and then all of a sudden they want to
They
go.
change their minds.
And the parents do not say, no, but you started it, you need to finish it.
Yeah.
So when I realized, like sometimes, I had 16 children in the Young Children's Theatre Company, and at any one time I couldn't get more than 4 or 5. I had to stop. And then I realized that there was a time when the young people between the ages of like 15 and 20 was saying everybody's either focusing on the little children or the adults. Nobody is opening away for
on
us.
the in-betweens.
So I decided to do that. And so that's why I've actually done Youth in Arts Theatre Company.
Okay, all right. So what is next for Auntie June?
Well, I figured it's time to leave some kind of legacy behind. And since I want Masquerade to continue to live even long after I'm gone, I've come up with this film.
Oh.
And let me tell you, it fills me, you have no idea how much joy it fills me with, simply because the writers of the script are my youngsters who have been with me for 6 years plus.
Wow.
They are the writers of the script.
That's wonderful.
I don't know if you know Monique Auguste. Monique wrote a little folk tale which was taken to Carifesta.
Yes,
and it's coming out again for the Jazz and Arts Festival.
Beautiful.
She wrote that when she was still at school at Sir Arthur Lewis, and her co-writer is Hayden Felix. Again, another one of our performers with Youth in Arts. And it brings me a lot of joy because a lot of them are still with me. Actually, they form, those that have been with me for 6+ years are now forming my management team.
That's great.
So they are going to be managing. I was out of the island for about 5 months, and they manage the entire Masquerade season. So it's, you know, it's just wonderful. My cast their ages range from 17 to 70 plus.
Wow.
Right? So I have
It's a nice
some
range.
wonderful
Oh my goodness.
actors in there. And I believe that when you mix your new with your experience, what it does for the youngsters coming up is totally amazing.
Wow.
So my film.
We are excited.
Yes, it's called, so look out for it, it's called Murder in the Masquerade.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Murder in the Masquerade.
Now I'm trying, and I'm sure Mr. Weeks Colin is very aware
Yes.
of how in the arts you have to pull teeth to get funding.
Absolutely.
I honestly would like, since this is an all St. Lucian cast and an all St. Lucian production, the first of its kind on, the first film of its kind on traditional masquerade, that I would like it to be funded solely in St. Lucia.
Of course,
I
naturally.
am aware
Naturally.
that those who give money towards the funding are the same ones who give all the time. And so we're trying to also get in-kind donations.
Yeah.
We're trying to get people in the diaspora, solutions in the diaspora, to really and truly
Yeah.
support us. I mean, a little $25 here from 100 people is $2,500.
It can work.
Every little
Yeah.
bit counts. So, Murder in the Masquerade, we're looking at it. We've got 3 definite sponsors. And I mean, I just got so excited over it because there was a time I was giving up hope.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. But that's wonderful. That's
so
wonderful.
that's what we're up to. And as we're focusing on the film, I also don't want to leave the theater company youngsters who are not
Absolutely.
part of the film out in the cold. So I'm trying to continue to develop them through workshops and so on. So
Okay.
we're supposed to be having a workshop this Easter.
Okay.
Starting next week, Tuesday. It's a 1-week intensive workshop.
That sounds
Yeah, on
That sounds
theater, on acting, voice, body, and masquerade. And then we're also throwing in acting for film, where we are bringing over a young man from Trinidad called Che Rodriguez, who has worked here
yes,
before.
yes, I've heard of
And Che is a producer, director, and and an actor. So he has a lot that he can share with us here for the film. So
Lots of things happening.
Yep.
Lots of things happening in the
Yes.
arts with the youth. We love to hear it. Mrs. Frederick, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by.
thank you.
On
Thank you for giving me
Ripple.
the pleasure. And remember, anytime you hear about Murder in the Masquerade,
Murder in
our
the
film,
Masquerade,
just
yes.
give it a little push
Yes.
for us so that we can get as much support as possible.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much.
you, thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with more on Island Ripple.